There was this is soft copy. Yesterday, Meghan Markle said on her podcast that she quit the show Deal or No Deal. What does Chris Demm call that? The
Suitcase or No Suitcase.
Suitcase or No Suitcase show. That was on
the old Howie Mandel vehicle.
That is Howie Mandel. And she said yesterday, yeah, I quit that show. She was one of the models. The show's concept was simple. 30 gorgeous women holding suitcases, and each one had an amount of money. Player gets to choose one suitcase and hope it's the most amount of money, and then every time it's deal or no deal. I mean, I thought the show was really good.
Yeah, the strategy was it's you versus the banker.
That's right. The banker would make you an offer.
Yeah, because of whatever suitcases you opened.
That's right. So eventually you find out what's in your suitcase, and if you get all the way to that, that's what you get. But Meghan Markle said yesterday, no, it objectified women, and it made me feel like a bimbo.
I was thankful for the job, but not for how it made me feel. I didn't like feeling forced to be all looks and little substance. And that's how it felt for me at the time, being reduced to this specific archetype.
The word bimbo.
It was solely about beauty and not necessarily about brains. I was surrounded by smart women on that stage with me, but that wasn't the focus of why we were there. And I would end up leaving with this pit in my stomach, knowing that I was so much more than what was being objectified.
She quit after a couple of seasons, and most people's reaction is what I see in Biggie's face here.
Yeah, and I like her, but she sounds pompous right there.
I mean, nobody forced her to do that.
No.
Every word of that rings true to me. That's how I feel when I walk out of here every day.
He's only here for the beauty.
I'm just objectified.
He's just objectified.
I'm a human being,
He's a bimbo.
too. Am I not a person? Do I not have value?
A few of the other models spoke up and said, it wasn't like that for us. They treated us with nothing but respect, and especially Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel, they said, was an absolute angel on that show.
Well, what do you want to open up the suitcase and say, I like long walks on the beach, I like art?
Exactly.
Yeah, to me, this is absolutely nothing story by her.
Agreed. I just looked at her and like, what?
Yeah,
I mean, we all know what it is. You don't have to take that job if you don't want it. And I will say that toward the end there, now I was the only one that watched Deal or No Deal all the way through. I wanted to see how it concluded. And
with the deal?
It was a deal right at the very end. But by the end, the last couple of seasons, they were talking to the models. And they would say, like, what are you planning? What's in your future? And that kind of thing. But the first several seasons is just open the suitcase. That's all. And sometimes the models were allowed to say, like, oh, good for you, or oh, I'm sorry, but nothing more. So, yeah, most people, I think, reacted with, like, okay, come on. You know what that job is.
I just thought this was stupid.
It's like a Price is Right model. It's like a model of any kind saying, all you do is objectify me. I have things to say.
Well, and frankly, to me, it sounds like she's calling the other models idiots.
Yeah.
She's like, there were smart people.
She was surrounded by smart women that weren't allowed to speak.
Yeah.
But nobody was allowed to speak except Mandel. He's the host, exactly. So I threw cold water on that, and my wife. Oh man.
Oh, I bet your wife. This is what I'm talking about.
She can't stand her. She's like, look at this. Boy, she stood bolt upright too. I mean, in fairness, it was time to go do dinner, but still, she stood bolt upright and said, look at this. I told you. And she's right. I mean, I didn't like that, which was coming from her at all. An update, too, on the Jason Sudakis, Olivia Wilde story. Boy, Biggie and I got into this yesterday.
You did?
Yeah. I mean, what's happened is the former nanny for Jason Sudakis and Olivia Wilde, they were together. They have 2 kids together. Never married, by the way. I didn't realize. They were not husband and wife. But the nanny says she fell so hard for Harry Styles, it nearly crushed.
Not the nanny.
No, the nanny. Olivia Wilde fell so hard for Harry Styles while the two were together, Sudakis and Wilde, that Sudakis at one point, as Biggie reported, caught her making her famous special salad dressing for Harry Styles. And before she could go take the salad to him, he rolled up under her car and got under the tires and said, you'll have to kill me.
Don't leave me.
You'll have to kill me to do it. Now, Sudakis and Wilde both said this woman is an alcoholic and she's horrible and she's coming after us and she's been tormenting us for years. The nanny had part 2 of her interview with one of the tabloids in Britain, and she says that Sudakis apparently says, and she witnesses this true, that Wilde's need for Harry Styles was like a drug addiction, and said that their therapist wasn't doing enough about it. That Sudakis said she's like a drug addiction to Harry Styles. She can't stay away from him, and the therapist didn't help out. Wilde, according to the nanny, was so smitten with Harry Styles, She gave away her dog Gordon because she wanted to spend more time with Harry Styles, and Gordon was requiring too much attention. Sudakis or Wilde has not followed up with any comments over this. But apparently she gave the poor dog to somebody. It's just terrible. Just awful. I mean,
are you guys going to be able to watch your Ted Lasso show and not think about him throwing himself under a car?
Yeah.
I have to.
I feel like that's something Ted Lasso would do.
I do too, to save himself.
You do?
To save someone else.
Yeah. Well, the character is going through a divorce in the show.
Oh,
that's true.
So I could easily see.
And the character also has mental breakdowns. He has some stuff in his past that last year he had a lot of anxiety and panic attacks.
The internet did what the internet does with the Harry Styles salad story. And of course, there were several memes of Jason Sudeikis and chasing her out of the house with a salad in her hands, a big bowl of salad or a salad bottle, a dressing bottle.
I know where that salad's going.
Yeah.
Of course. We just
You're
immediately...
taking that salad to that home wrecker, Harry.
Or one I really enjoyed was her presenting Harry Styles with a salad, and his face is like, no. Like, I made you my special salad, Harry, and he's like,
I don't like that dressing. Apparently, that's her family
ranch.
That's her family recipe for dressing.
Do you have any just plain old ranch?
There's her special Olivia Wilde dressing, and she ran it right over to Harry Styles, and Sudakis threw himself under the back tires of the car so that she wouldn't leave. Is that unbelievable or what? Well, that's what the nanny's saying anyway, and now she says she gave the dog away too. Gordon.
Does your wife have a stake in this? Does she team Olivia, team Sudakis?
She hasn't said. I think she's probably
team Lasso?
I think she'll be team Lasso because she loves the show too. I loved Olivia. Now, was Olivia Wilde? She was in House, which I liked a lot, but I have to be on Sudakis' side here because he's Lasso. I mean, that's just the way it is. Also, an update from a story yesterday. James Cordon, we told you, was a vile cretin of a man.
That's according to a powerful restaurateur.
Keith McNally, who owns a restaurant called Balthazar. And yesterday he said that Cordon was so abusive to his staff when any little thing was wrong that he was never, ever welcomed back in Balthazar again. Yesterday, Cordon apologized, and McNally said, okay, I forgive you. You can come back to Balthazar.
Get back in here.
What in the world? This is the worst.
Talk about not
It's a
holding
strange feud.
No, well, really. He didn't hold a grudge at all. It took 24 hours, and Cordon was back. McNally wrote on Instagram, James Cordon just called me and apologized profusely. I have effed up myself so many times that I'm going to let this F up go, and he can come back into Balthazar and my other restaurants. So it's okay.
So
win-win.
I guess so.
But I think it still damages Cordon's image some, especially since he called and apologized, which to me is basically saying, yeah, it's true. I acted like this.
Yeah, I agree. I think he is. I think he whines and pouts and yells at the waitstaff when anything is wrong. I'll always remember it. I'll always think about that when James Cordon comes up now.
I don't think we'll see him after he leaves much.
Now he'll be back in England doing. He's a Broadway or a on stage guy in England.